What's your assessment of the result and the performance?
It was a high-quality game between two very strong teams. We suffered in some minutes in the first half. It was hard for us to find. We suffered in some minutes because of the quality of McGuire and to come in, and we couldn't close the six, and that was difficult in some minutes. But overall, was an even game. Second half, I felt us very, very strong, very aggressive, many high recoveries, good chances, good half chances. I thought we are closer to win it, but there's a lot of quality on the pitch. Can happen anything, any minute. So, result is the result. But performance-wise, I'm very satisfied. We defended very, very high, very encouraged, and very brave in the last line. I'm very happy with that.
Manchester United's centre-backs in particular pushed high. Were you expecting them to be so high up the pitch?
Yeah, that's why we changed in second half and defended with two strikers to block them, and that they cannot enter with the ball. Or do you mean without the ball, defending high without the ball? But defending or with the ball?
Without and with.
Yeah, and we were not good enough in the first half to attack the space. We had too many ball losses, easy ball losses. It was difficult because they started with a high pressing. So to find the solution was not always easy. We lost a little bit the confidence with some easy ball losses. That can happen on that level. It's not a big deal. We said this also in half time. Don't worry. We changed a bit the structure. We went to a 5-3-2 to have higher ball recoveries and can put the pressure up high to regain confidence. And that the boys did that very, very well. And so we dominated the second half and were close to win.
What did you make of the VAR intervention and the potential penalty?
But how can this be? How can this be an intervention? The red guy, the player in red, plays the ball with the hand, and then we are checking for what? For penalty. I mean, why does the referee have to see this? You watch this 1 second on the iPad, and you see that it's. I saw it on the field live, and I see it on the iPad. Why does the referee need to see this? He did everything right. Don't understand why he needs to check it. But I'm glad that it's no penalty, because that would be even worse.
No Tammy Haberman in the squad today.
No.
What was the reason behind that?
Selection. We have 21 strong players and only 18 possible, and so hard decisions is my job, to take hard decisions, and this was the decision for 18 guys, and Tammy was not with the group.
Overall, what is your evaluation of a point today?
Well, we take what we got. This is no other solution in football. We have again a good performance, defensive-wise, character-wise, and from mentality, I'm absolutely happy. Against a team like Man United, you don't get many chances. If you get chances, maybe a half chance must be enough. We are not in that moment yet where we are clinical enough to win games like this, because it's possible to win like this. But overall, with the effort and the performance, there are absolutely no concerns. I'm happy. If we go on like this, we are a difficult team to play against.
Thank you, Thomas.
They certainly are a difficult team to play against. They've conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League since he arrived. What did you make of his overall assessment there, Joe?
Strange that he thought it was a high-quality game in the Premier League. I think it was a tactical game. I think he'd been happy with how Chelsea defended, although Man United didn't ask much questions. When he said he changed the system and put two up because he wanted to defend with his strikers, I mean, what he needs to understand is that Chelsea, if you're playing at home against anyone, including the great teams like Man United, Liverpool, and you got a chance to win, I felt he could have thrown more bodies forward. He was right about the fact that there was too many balls. I've never seen so many Chelsea players pass the ball out of play or not connect passes. So there was a lot of unforced errors, if you like. I would have liked to have seen him now, reconsidering the game, maybe going to a back four and really pushing Man United. I think it was almost like they were both seeing it out for a point, and it was just a lack of quality in the game, which is unusual from the Premier League, and particularly these two teams.
And both teams almost, Michael, relying on the counter-attack, home and away.
They did, actually, yeah. I thought it would be Manchester United that would mainly rely on it, but Chelsea had their opportunity as well. We'll see a couple of examples. Here's Chelsea's to start with, and you see here, 4 against 2. And it really summed up the game, the final pass, the decision. I thought he could have taken that on, committed another player there, and it fizzles out. And you can see Thomas Tuchel, he's more interested in keeping calm, making that extra pass, not rushing things. Whereas I think if you're going to hurt an opponent, you've got to do it quick. Another example here, this time Manchester United 3v2 again. I mean, these are the half chances that Thomas Tuchel spoke about in his interview. I'm sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has mentioned it as well, but this is probably the one that I think out the 3 of them is probably the best. 4 against 2 there, 4 against 3. You've got 2 quick players here in Rashford and Daniel James, and McTominay plays a really, really poor ball that stops them in their tracks. So, I mean, you're expecting far, far more opportunities in the game than what we saw there. But 3 counter-attacks that could have proved decisive in the end.
Yeah, I know what you say. I actually think Tuchel was watching a different game on his iPad when he said there was a game full of high quality. I didn't see one bit of quality right throughout the game. As Michael's pointed out there, the amount of positions players were in with easy passes. Scott McTominay there, it's an easy 20-yard pass, 10 yards in front of him. Rashford's throwing goal, it's behind him. Such a bad pass. Fernandes there, again with a bad pass. There was quality on the pitch, don't get me wrong. Before the game, you expect a lot of quality. But did any of them show it? I don't think they did.
OK, so we've heard from Thomas Tuchel. Let's get the Manchester United manager's views. Here's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
No goals, but should you have had a penalty?
Yeah, 100%.
Can you understand at all why it wasn't given then?
No, not whatsoever. Not at all. So, especially when they stop it and he walks across and can watch it. From here, you can see it's a handball, but you think and they're shouting it's handball for our player, and then when you look at it on the video, it's taken 2 points away from us.
What's your understanding of what the referee said to the players about his decision?
That's I can't say, because that's not going to be good for him.
Is that not concerning to you? Because
of course it is.
Luke Shaw has already said to us,
yeah,
he heard him say to Harry Maguire, yeah, I can't give that too much controversy.
Exactly, but I didn't say it, so I don't want to cause controversy. But it's not right, is it? It's all these outside influences. Even the VAR talk before the game here on Harry. That's cheeky. Actually cheeky when they put that on their website. That's influencing the referees.
What was that?
You can go back and look at the websites.
In terms of, I genuinely don't know, Ollie.
As in, you can read it, what they're saying about all the controversy about Harry Maguire and putting pressure on the referees to give penalties against us.
How serious a problem do you think it is?
Well, we've seen, like, there was a manager, was it Frank, that started it? There's loads of talk about us getting penalties when there is no doubt whatsoever. And now, of course, today we should have had the penalty. That's as clear as it is.
In terms of the rest of the performance, what did you make of it?
Defensively, energy, application, attitude, pressing, spot on, absolutely spot on. With the ball, not good enough. Not enough quality. We didn't create the chances that we hoped for towards the end. If you score on that breakaway 4 against 2 or whatever it was, that's a perfect away performance. Or if you get that penalty and win 1-0.
To that interview, all talking about the penalty. He's angry, the Manchester United manager.
He is, yeah, because he 100% thinks it's a penalty. We do as well. Took a little bit of time to get there, of course, but it's the right decision. Well, it should have been the right decision, as you say, going over to the screen. Again, what he's looking at there, I don't know.
He's got a bigger picture.
Pardon?
He's got a bigger picture there as well. He feels Manchester United are now being treated harshly because they've had the number of penalties that they've had.
Yeah. He probably thinks that, but I don't think that was anything to do with today. I just think it was a referee making the wrong decision, really. I think he summed the game up pretty well. I thought United defended well, but the quality was really missing. Quality that he expects with them forward players they've got. As we said before the game, the forward players Manchester United had today, you'd expect them to create chances. You'd expect them to score goals against a not a great Chelsea team, not a great Chelsea back three, as we've seen down the years, to compare them to them. And the quality just wasn't there. And again, it's another big game where they've really disappointed.
And we talked, didn't we, before the game against the record about the Big Six, the traditional Big Six. We pointed out there hadn't been a victory. We pointed out there hadn't been a goal in open play. 10.5 hours against these clubs, and United haven't scored from open play, Paul. Well, this can't continue, this conversation, can it?
It can continue as long as it keeps happening. This is what's stopping them from challenging for a league title. Without a doubt, I don't know if you've got City's record. You look at City's record against the top teams. They go to Chelsea and try and win. They go to Anfield and try and win. Do Man United go to these places and try and win? Don't look like it.
No, I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there says we're a penalty, we're a decision there away from the perfect away performance.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had been given the penalty, and let's say they won 1-0, we'd all be saying, oh, yeah, great, disciplined performance, good defending, etc., etc. But really, is it? You know, that's not perfect away performance. As Scholesy said, Manchester City go to teams and absolutely pulverise them. They play them off the park. They don't rely on 50-50 decisions or whatever you want to call it for a penalty. Now, you know, Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't say that's perfect. In the future, they need to be aiming to the likes of what City have been doing in recent seasons. They need to be aiming to what Manchester United were doing 10, 15 years ago. Not thinking that an away performance as drab as that and relying on a potential penalty shout, and if it happens, saying that's the perfect away performance. I mean, it is if you're trying to get into the top four, but this is Manchester United you're talking about. These players are world-class players, a lot of them. They're not performing to their full ability at the moment. It's painful to watch. That's a poor game of football from both managers. Thomas Tuchel was wrong as well. It was a poor performance, and he's got an embarrassment of riches on the bench as well as on the field. It wasn't good enough, and I think both teams need to be braver if they want to get the main prize, which surely Chelsea, Manchester United, they should be aiming to win the league at some point.
And as you know, Paul, when you set us a question, we come up with an answer. The same 8 games against their rivals for City, 5 wins.
Well, that's clear. It's there for everyone to see that United... Well, that's why United are second, I suppose, 12 points behind, so the rest of the team are struggling. They go to these two every single game. You watch Manchester City, they'll try and beat anyone. They'll play the same way, and they will be desperate to win again. They'll create chances. They've got players who are brave, who will take chances. They've got 2 defenders who don't need protected. Manchester United, a lot of the problem I see is them 2 centre-halves and goalkeeper. Well, not so much goalkeeper today, but centre-halves need protected, which it means you've got to have your 2 holding midfield players right next to them all the time, and it takes away everything from your attacking ability. They don't get up the pitch. They can't keep the ball in the last third of the pitch because they can't sustain attacks because they're too deep. And this is a recurring theme now that keeps going on. If they're going to get to that next level, they've got to be braver. They've got to be braver in the middle of the pitch with a 2 centre-half. Let them defend. But you're playing against an average Chelsea forward. Not average, because I like Giroud. But he's not going to run away from anyone. It's perfect for them 2 today. Mason Mount's not going to run away from him. Ziyech, not quick, no pace. You've nothing to worry about. Let your midfield players join in attacks and at least contribute something to the attacking side of the game.
Scholesy, we saw a graphic before at Manchester United against the big teams, and it said, what was it, 6-1 or 7 Tottenham early on in the season, and 6. Then it was basically a 0-0, 1-1-0.
And that game frightened them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that game has been the worst thing that could have happened to Manchester United, because all of a sudden they thought, oh my word, if we play like this, there we go, 1-6 against Tottenham. And Harry Maguire, I don't know who played alongside him. I think it was Lindelof in that game.
Someone got sent off in that game. Someone got sent off in that game.
Yeah, Martial.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he thought, right, we can't go to these good teams. It frightened them to death. Yeah. Absolutely. They've got no courage now going away to these big teams. All they want to do, sit in, let's not get beaten like that again, sit in, protect our weak link, which is our centre-halves, and let's just rely on 1 or 2 quick players to try to nick it.
I understand that against Manchester City, that kind of performance, because it's going to be very difficult, and this time next week, it's probably a different story. But Chelsea and Manchester City, they've not got the attacking threat of Manchester City, they've not got the players, the quality that they have, so... Look, they've got to change it, the quality's got to be better, big players have got to step up. Again, Fernandes today, I can't remember doing anything. I don't remember creating a chance. I don't remember him having a shot on goal. I don't remember Mendy, other than a couple of times, really being brought into the game. So, look, quality is disappointing. They've got to get it better against these big clubs.
Joe, would you fear playing against this current United team?
No, I wouldn't. And it's right. It's a mindset going into these games, because I looked at it and it's definitely coming from the management and the coaching, because there were times we had a great view of the big screen and Maguire, Fred and McTominay were sitting right on top of the toes. And even Luke Shaw at times, I felt he was standing there. He had Callum Hudson-Odoi there. He had the easiest day in the world, Luke Shaw. He was strolling round. Now, there's got to be a mindset, right? When we go on the press, the separation from the front three and the back four was massive, because they've almost gone, you guys go and press. So Rashford, Greenwood going on press, getting popped round, and then them forwards were then having to turn round and run back 40, 50 yards, because Fred and McTominay weren't backing them up because they were concerned about protecting their centre-halves. So all of a sudden, the front three are getting more and more tight because they're going on a little press, then they're running back, sitting in the low block, and then you're asking them to break. As quick as they were, they kept making the wrong decisions, and they looked fatigued, the front three, because there's no doubt, you know, your Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, all of them, that they are talented players. And today they just kept making bad decisions. And I think it's a mindset thing. They are scared, and until they change that and the manager lets them off the leash and they can go and press, they're not going to end up having any joy against the top six. And Scholes's right. Against Man City, you can accept that because they are better. There's no doubt about it. I've done the game yesterday. They're miles ahead of Man United. But against Arsenal, against Chelsea, you go and have a go. Go and try and win the games. It's better to win one than maybe draw a couple and lose. They're definitely playing under fear against the big teams.